I believe in free speech as much as you. I would
Very
fight.
much.
I don't disagree. I don't agree with a lot of what you put out on social media, but I will fight for your right to be able to say it.
Great.
You know Don Lemon, he loves his free speech. You can't move for free speech in the Don Lemon household. He loves free speech as much as the next guy. He loves free speech as much as Elon Musk. Yeah. Pull the other one, you big fanny. All right? That's all I'd say to that. Anyway, we're going to take a look at a little clip from this. Now, infamous Don Lemon interview with Elon Musk. He'd recently announced a new show in collaboration with Twitter or X, whatever. And he was going to do the Don Lemon show in collaboration with that platform. But his first guest, unfortunately, was Elon Musk. And things didn't quite go to plan. Elon has backed out of the deal. And I think you're going to see why, basically. We're going to take a look at a section of the interview in which they're discussing DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Three things that the Daniel Boland show is very much against, right?
Who's Daniel Boland? Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
Okay, so listen, let's talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, all right?
These are the three demons you must slay if you wish to succeed in business.
All right, that's been a target of yours lately on X. There was a repost of Ben Shapiro that you claim that DEI is killing people. Specifically, you point to medicine. You claim that DEI programs are putting people at risk. Do you really believe this to be true? And what evidence do you have to support it?
I hate all of these questions about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I really mean that, because we all know what the implication is. You have to be really fucking stupid if you don't understand that doctors being chosen because of their immutable characteristics is a crazy thing that we never want to see happen, right? You don't need Elon to sit there and spoon feed to you exactly why that is a bad idea. You know it's a bad idea. Everyone fucking knows it's a bad idea. Okay? And I, like Elon, I'm not going to say why.
What I was referring to there was that if we lower the standards for doctors, such so that they, if the test for a doctor is lowered, then the probability of them making a mistake and killing someone is obviously going to be higher.
Wait, say that again. I'm not sure I understand what you said. I want to make sure I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to do my utmost here not to be as patronising a douche as Don Lemon is with his whole disingenuous, I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say here with your lowering standards. We all know what he's saying, or at least you should do. So this is what I'm saying. I don't want to be patronising. Diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. Now, their goal, surely, is to make medicine, in this case, is what they're talking about, more diverse. That means more representation for certain groups in the field of medicine, right? I guess they feel, the people who want to implement these policies, that certain groups, God knows which ones, are underrepresented in the field of medicine. Now, think about this just for a second. What are the two basic reasons why you are not a doctor? One, the most likely, you didn't go into medical school. You didn't choose to do medicine. Or, the other reason, you couldn't even get into medical school, or once in medical school, you didn't reach a standard which was required by the board for you to then go on to practice medicine as a licensed doctor. So, if a particular group, and I know this is patronising, but it feels like it's not obvious. If a certain group of people make up a certain percentage of the population, yet they make up a lower percentage of doctors, the reason for that is that either that they're not choosing to do it, they're not choosing to study medicine, or they are, and they're failing. They're not reaching the standards. So how can you solve that problem? You can either force everyone to study medicine from a particular group, hoping that eventually they'll make up the numbers, or what else could you do? Lower the standards. It's not that crazy what Elon Musk is saying. It's not the mind of a lunatic conspiracy theorist at work there. It's just obvious that that would be the easiest way to solve that problem, wouldn't it? If you saw that as a problem.
Yes, if the standards for passing medical exams and becoming a doctor, or especially something like a surgeon, if the standards are lowered, then the probability that the surgeon will make a mistake is higher. They're making mistakes in their exam. They may make mistakes with people, and that may result in people dying.
What evidence do you have, though, that they're lowering the standards? There's no evidence of that.
I believe there is.
Now, I don't normally like going into politics. I don't want to go into this too deeply because it's just a bit... It's kind of deflated. It's all been said. But at the same time, I do sort of feel that every now and again, you do kind of have to say, hang on, this is actually mental, okay? You can go away and look at Ben Shapiro's thread on Twitter about Duke University, which is the medical school that they're talking about here. You can go on the Duke University website where they've got page and page and page after page about DEI, about anti-racism, which you might all think is very well-intentioned, but it's a medical school. Why the fuck are they so obsessed with identity politics? To me, it just seems mad, right? Your main obsession should be with saving lives. And yes, obviously, we don't want them being racist in the process, God forbid. No, of course not. But that shouldn't be... It makes them sound more racist that they're talking about racism all the time, doesn't it? I don't know. Maybe that's just my sick head. Ben Shapiro's thread's very interesting, as I said. Think of him what you will, make of him what you will. All right, I'm not going to tell you what you will think about Ben Shapiro, but it was odd. Some of the stuff that's on there, the doctors talking about implementing an NFL-style Rooney Rule whereby it's mandatory to hire members of a certain group just because they are members of a certain group. Now, that to me, as much as I hate getting into politics, is total madness. It's political correctness gone mad. God, I hate myself.
There's no evidence of that, Elon. What is the evidence?
I believe they have literally lowered the standards at Duke University, and that is what the article was referring to.
There's no evidence.
Are you saying they have not lowered the standards?
There's no evidence about lowering standards, and I think that there is...
I believe that is a false statement you're making.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I think
the interesting thing is, when this is posted on the X platform, there will be a whole bunch of things that rebut what you said and what I said.
Right.
And so people can then make their own decision based on the replies and the rebuttals and the community notes.
I think that's fair, but I do think that on this particular topic, I do think that you and Ben Shapiro are reaching in about this, because there was what Ben posted said that he gave instances of people who were deliberately harming people.
Yeah, that was pretty mad. Like I say, go and check out Ben's thread on the whole Duke University thing. Apparently the progressive students are harming physically the conservative students, which is, of course, to be applauded. Progress.
Nowhere in the thread does Ben suggest at all, I should say, that anyone is being killed as a result of DEI.
No one died.
That's purely speculative.
Someone died.
There's research on DEI and medicine, and there's no evidence that standards are being lowered, that DEI is affecting medicine. Actually, only 5% of doctors are black, and a small percent.
Oh, so that's the group we've been talking about all this time. I had no idea. Anyway, the point is, Don Lemon is saying that 5% of doctors in America are black, whereas 13% of the total population are black. So clearly black people are underrepresented in medicine in the US. And here's the thing. I would love to be in this interview because I would just turn around and say, why do you think that is? I've already said that I think there can only be two essential reasons. It's that people of a certain group don't reach the standard, not enough of them, proportionately, or they're not choosing to study medicine, right? Enough of them. That proportionately fewer of them are choosing to do medicine. Now, whatever you believe to be the case, because I think we can rule out that they are getting past that mark. They're getting over the threshold, and these medical schools are just so racist that they're saying, "Not today, boy," and they're turning them away and saying, "We can't have another one coming through." I think we can rule that out. However, there could be circumstantial things disproportionately holding a particular group back, right? Like, I don't know, poverty. In which case, it then becomes nothing to do with race, surely. Because I'm willing to bet, again, I'm not backing this up with stats or research or anything, I'm willing to bet that very few white kids from poor backgrounds make it, they become qualified doctors, right? And I think it's also fair to assume that a disproportionate amount of black people come from poor backgrounds in the US, right? So, in which case, it's nothing to do with race. Unless the people who want to implement these DEI policies do believe it's about race, and I don't believe that they think it's like top-down racism, but if they just believe it's about race, this is where it gets murky, isn't it? I need them to tell me exactly what they think. Because it sounds to me like the people who want to implement DEI are the real racists. I think a number of you can see where I'm going with this. Surely. I hope.
So I just the research. So when you talk, do you believe that people are dying because medical standards, DEI is causing medical standards to be lowered? Do you actually believe people are dying because of that?
I believe that if we lower the standards for what it takes to become a doctor.
You're saying if we lower the standards,
Yes.
but do you believe people are dying because the standards are being lowered?
I don't
Or have
think
been
that
lowered?
is yet an issue, but it could become an issue.
Okay. But the actual evidence in history shows the exact opposite if you look at how minorities are treated by the medical system.
What?
Most doctors now are white. And there are lots of mistakes in medicine. So you're saying that white doctors have bad medical care?
I think I might have to take back everything I've said about Don Lemon being a disingenuous douche. I think he might be retarded.
I'm trying to understand your logic here when it comes to DEI because there's no actual evidence of what you're saying.
No, I said, so if the standards, like let's say, I think that particular thing was referring to surgeons. Let's say a surgeon is asked to, a surgeon in training is asked to do a series of operations under the supervision of a senior surgeon, and they get a bunch of those operations wrong. If that happens, and yet they are still approved to be a surgeon, the probability that someone will die, I think, at some point is high.
So he has actually spelled out what he is worried will happen if DEI policies are implemented. Let's hear Don Lemon's reaction.
Okay, I understand that, but that's a hypothetical. That doesn't mean it's happening.
I didn't say it's happening.
You didn't say it was happening.
I said it will.
But
I said if we lower standards, people will die.
But why respond to something or put something out there that has not happened? Because I could say,
Because I don't want it to happen. I think we don't want to lower standards.
Okay, if you look at the history of the medical industry, especially when it comes to Black Americans, it shows the exact opposite. If you look at the Tuskegee experiment and on, only 5% of doctors in America are Black. All of them are white. So are you saying that if the majority of doctors are white, are you saying that and there are still these inequities, right? And there's still mistakes. Are you blaming DEI for that?
Is Don Lemon asking Elon Musk if he blames all medical incompetence on DEI? I'm lost now. Am I the retard?
No, I'm very basically saying that if we lower standards for what it takes to become a board-certified surgeon, or an oncologist or something where the kind of disease we're talking about, if you make a mistake, causes someone to die, then more people will die than if we don't lower the standards. Therefore, we should not lower the standards.
But why do you think they're lowering the standards for minority doctors or women doctors, or?
That's what that's what that article suggested. Yes, at Duke University.
Okay. The evidence that I have shows that that's not true.
Yes, some fascinating journalism there, worthy of the Daniel Boland show. A real Frost Nixon moment we've witnessed there. Hard-hitting investigative journalism from Don Lemon, right? And that lunatic Elon Musk, eh? What's Elon Musk ever done for us, eh? All right, I think that's a wrap for today. I'll see you in the next one.
We're going to cut you open and tinker with your ticker.
Could you dumb it down a shade?